Hello.
Hi, everyone. Cheryl Arkle.
Jane Tara.
Cheryl Arkle.
Jane Tara.
So where is
What are you
everyone?
reading?
Hello. I'm tuning in from San Francisco.
Mm,
This will probably be, will this be my last time? No, I've probably got one more from here and then I'm home.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But you're going to Mexico, so won't be around for the next couple of weeks.
No,
And
I won't.
yeah, and then you'll
Yes,
be back on before you come home.
that's right. But watch out for the photos from Mexico because it was really a photographer's dream, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been enjoying your photos over there because you've been doing some, like, I've been making notes. Get her to cook that when she's back in Sydney. You know, there was a pie or something on Instagram, and I was just like, oh,
Right. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Let me
yeah.
tell you a funny story. My friends who are here, they ordered some pita bread. They wanted some for the freezer. A lot of my friends here are ordering bread and stockpiling. But
Yeah.
Marissa and Bert had ordered some pita bread. So I thought last night I had a free night and I'd make it. And everything was running smoothly. And then the power went out completely. The oven went off, everything. And I pivoted, Jane. I worked out how to turn on the hob
Yeah.
without electricity, and I cooked them stovetop in
Wow.
candlelight. In candlelight.
Wow. Good
Yeah,
on you.
so I made bread in the dark. Jeez, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm having wine today. Last week I had herbal tea.
Yeah, no, but you deserve a wine after
Mm.
that. That's quite an achievement, I think.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So can you imagine your love of cooking and having to cook in no light?
Well, I just wouldn't.
Imagine
I'd
that.
crack
You
open a bottle of wine and just ride it out, ride out Armageddon.
I was going to do that, but I was worried about the dough going off. Anyway, hello,
Yeah,
everybody. All those bakers out there will know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Hi, welcome. What are you reading? Thursday, 2 p.m. This is our favorite segment.
yeah.
Our second segment for the week. I don't know about you, Jane, but last week I went through and I read all the comments, and they
Yeah,
just always make me so happy.
yeah.
Hi, everyone. So I'll just go through what we have. Sharon says hi. Carolyn says, hi, Cheryl and Jane. I'm just about to finish The Typhid Code by Janice Harlett for book club. Truly excellent, excellent, and we'll recommend it. Thank you, Carolyn. Veronica says hi. Sydney says hi. Jill says hi. Anthony says hi. Good evening from USA, gals. Are you in the USA? Because I'm in the USA. I'm here in San Francisco. Where are you, Anthony? Veronica finished Snowy Mountains, promises no reading retribution. I'm not sure what that means.
Now reading.
Now reading, right. Oh, sorry. Now reading
Yeah.
retribution. Judy, hi, ladies. I'm reading the Hush by Sarah Foster.
Yeah,
I heard that's terrific.
yeah.
Thank you, Judy, for that. An Aussie author who deserves more recognition. You're absolutely
Agreed.
right. And she
Yeah.
lives in Western Australia. She lives in Perth, and she's
Mm,
part of that Perth posse of writers. I've met her a couple of times. She's super cool.
mm, mm.
Sharon is reading The House of Now and Then by Joe Dixon and really enjoying it. Anthony reading Straight Shooter from Stephen A. Smith from ESPN, his memoir.
Oh, wow.
Veronica, I love that it was so good. Not sure what that was. Hi, Jane and Cheryl from Sally. The Work Wives. Jenny is reading The Work Wives by Rachel Johns. Okay, what have we got there?
Cool. Well, let's just start with last night. Anyone who saw Alyssa's event,
I did.
and you want to, it's still on Facebook. So check out, we always keep our events there and you can go back and watch it. This is her latest book, Snowy Mountains Promise. And we know a lot of you read her books. And if you haven't, check it out because she just does really great sort of multi-layered Australian, rural romance, but it's always got like a bit of grit and guts to it. So that one. And we should tell everyone about the top 100.
Oh yeah, let's tell everybody about that. It's on. I know that some of these people have know about it already.
Yeah.
But it is on, and we're super excited.
Mm.
The voting has opened now. When does voting close?
13th of March.
13th of March. Okay, so you've got time. Now, remember, if you go in and vote, you go into the draw to win the 100 books that win, that make the top 100, if you like. And those packs go out to 7 winners. So you've got a
Yeah.
really good chance of it. It's not just 1 pack. We've
Yeah.
got 7 packs. Now, I know some of
Shout
you
out if you've won it in the past, because we always have a winner
we
there,
do.
don't
We do.
Yeah.
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 So go in, vote, and you go immediately into the draw for the
Okay, so to vote, Dex is going to put it in comments. He'll put the link in
series
comment,
there.
and you just click on it and vote. Now, Cindy's reading The Trivia Night by Ali Lowe, who I spoke to recently and was gorgeous. Just
Yeah.
read Kingdom of the Feared by Kerry Maniscalco, The Boardwalk Bookshop by Susan Malroy, and a book called The Coconut Wireless by Simon Michael Pryor. I think my next book is The Maid by Nita Prose or The It Girl by Ruth Ware. Okay,
You
Cindy.
go. Put both of them on your list. They're both great reads. Yeah.
And Cindy, it's what are you doing? I mean, how many books are you reading?
Yeah.
There we go. Cindy is
Well,
prolific.
that's a question to ask. Are you reading them all? Are some on audio? Like how to, because
Oh,
we
yeah,
love
that's
hearing if
right.
people,
Yeah.
listen to
All
their
right,
books.
I'm going to
Yeah.
ask the question. How many books a week do you think you read? Right? Not a
Yeah.
competition, just for us to get an
Yeah.
idea of how many
Yeah.
books you actually read from start to finish, let's say a week. Let me know. Anthony's in San Francisco. So am I. There you go. Kaz,
Cool.
yeah, I know. So this is why I'm in the dark, because it's very dark
Yeah.
outside. And I'm having trouble getting lighting in here, but it's good enough. Kaz is reading Prince Harry, Spare, and 3 Days to Live by James Patterson. Now, I want to talk about Spare because do you know, I really wondered whether that book would sell because I just thought, who is interested in reading about him? Well, it turns out a lot of people are.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's sold millions of copies,
Yeah.
but also it's beautifully written and
It's really well written.
people are enjoying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a remarkable story, isn't it?
It really
Stacey,
is. And I was kind of like, oh, I'm not going to read it, but I'll just read one, the opening chapter and see. And it actually reeled me in immediately. And I don't have time to read the whole thing all at once, but I'm returning to it and reading more of it because it is well written and it's interesting. It's an interesting read. Yeah.
Stacey says, hi, ladies. Love the author event last night. Thank you, Stacey.
Cool.
Tracy, hi. I'm reading The One and Only by Dolly Jamison. No, The One and Only Dolly Jamison by Lisa Island. We love Lisa. She came
to here. Yeah.
And Lisa came to our Melbourne.
Yes. Yeah.
Cindy says The Hush is a really good read. Alona is reading Song of the Sun God by Shankara Chandra. Great read.
Right.
Yeah. Not much time for reading this week, so still reading The Ballad of Abdul by Ryan Butter. And
I enjoyed that. I read that too. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Sally's reading The Long Weekend by Fiona Palmer and enjoying it so far. Jane just finished The Year That Changed Everything by Kathy Kelly and now reading The Fiction Class by Susan Breen.
Yeah.
Lisa has just started Terms of Inheritance by Michelle Upton. Julie says hi to us, and last night's segment with Alyssa was fantastic. Oh, I love hearing that because we love having those people on, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And she's great. I mean, a book a year usually she does. Wayward is our book of the week. This is
my God. I'm in love with her.
Sensational. Yeah, you did the podcast with her, so that'll be released soon. And this is, it weaves the stories of 3 women across 5 centuries. Everyone who is reading it is loving this. The whole kind of sort of witchy women, feminist, lyrical sort of thing going on in this book. And I think it's going to do exceptionally well once all of our wonderful readers get their hands on it. So go and...
Well, can I tell you her personal story as well? You're going to have to listen to the podcast. She's a beautiful young person. She studied law. She's a solicitor. She lives in London, but she had a stroke at a very young age.
Wow.
And apparently that's becoming more and more common. And she talks about how she overcame that. And that was really a trigger for her to put the law aside and to start to write, once she started feeling better. But, she lost a little bit of her vision and all sorts of things. So remarkable. Listen to the podcast, read the book. She's clever. Watch out for her.
Yeah. We'll let everyone know when it's out. Speaking of podcasts, We've got a lot going on with the podcast platform this year, and there's more information about that to come. But Cheryl has launched a new podcast. I mean, everyone loves stories behind the story, but we've also roped Caroline Overington in to do a wonderful book chat podcast, and the chemistry between those two and the gossip and the book industry.
You couldn't shut us up yesterday. You could not shut us up.
Yeah. I can't wait until you're both recording in the podcast studio. You know, at the moment it's at a distance, but listening to it, the energy is amazing. So Dex, do you have the there we go. Everyone, this is Book Chat. So the new podcast, show it some love, go and have a listen to it. It's just a great conversation.
And Dex will put that in the comments, but also too, it's only very short. Like, if the conversation is 10 minutes, it'll be 10 minutes. If the conversation is 5 minutes, it'll be 5. If it's 30, it'll be 30. I mean, I can't imagine it ever being 5 because we just talk too much.
Yeah.
But, it's really lovely. And if you want to know what's going on behind the scenes, it's great. I know some of you have already started listening to it and have told me that you're enjoying it. Which is wonderful. I think Carolyn Manners told us that she's really loving it. So when's the next one coming out, Jane? This week?
The next one is coming out on, what day are we on? Well, it'll be out for the weekend.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Okay. And we love Carolyn.
Yeah. So it's great. So you have a couple of episodes to go back and listen to over the weekend. And while we're talking about podcasts quickly.
Can I interrupt? Can I just tell people just about a podcast story?
Yeah.
I got a phone call today from a friend of mine that lives in Cuba, and I picked up. I was out and about, but I picked up because I thought that something might be wrong, that she was calling me during the day and blah, blah, blah. I'm in San Francisco, so we're on a similar time zone. But anyway, she said, hey, listen, I was just about to listen to one of your podcasts, and I thought, I'll blow that. I'll ring her and speak to her in person. So I had to be podcast-like in the phone conversation.
Yeah. But that goes to show that, people in Cuba are listening to it as well, because we do see that people all over the world are listening.
They do.
Yeah. So speaking of which, these are the ones that are released this week. Penelope Janu, Shelter from the Storm is her latest book. And she has a little conversation with Cheryl, and also Olivia Byrne, the woman who knew too little. And this is based on a very famous unsolved murder. It's a fictionalized version of it, called Somerton Man, of course. But it was a great conversation that you had with her. So those two are out now. Have a listen. That's Stories Behind the Story, the flagship.
Can I tell you, I think we're up to, and I don't know, we'd have to check that. We'd have to get Dex to check it. But I think I've spoken to over 400 people on that podcast.
Yeah.
And every time I learn something. Every time conversation takes me to places that I've never been. I learned something about people, like that young girl that had the stroke. I mean, who has a stroke at 26?
Yeah.
So I just find them so engaging and so interesting. And I hope you guys feel the same about them, because they really are. They're giving you a bit of themselves, aren't they?
Yes.
That's
the whole point. It's like, where have they come from?
Yeah.
Got, to write the book that you can now buy. So,
all right. Julie says, hi, Jane and Cheryl. Last night's segment was fantastic. We've read that out. Melissa says hi to us. I'm reading The Brightest Star by Emma Harcourt. Oh, we love Emma. She is beautiful. And that was a great book too.
Yeah.
Carolyn said Alyssa was so enjoyable. Linda says, oh, hi, Linda. We haven't seen you for a while. She says, hi, girls. Hi, Cheryl and Jane. I'm reading The Summer Party by Rebecca Heath and loving it. Tanya, hello. Oh, have you got it?
No, but I've got one that's kind of similar. So if she likes that, she can move on to this one. Yeah.
Okay. Tanya says, hello, ladies. I'm reading The Heart's Furies by John Boyne and really enjoying it. He was in Australia recently, I heard. A friend of mine had dinner with him. Richard says, hi, reading A Very Nice Girl by Imogen Crimp at the moment and loving it so far. Anthony, if you know any Aussie sports fans from down under, recommend Straight Shooter by Stephen A. Didn't want to write this. Okay, until mum died. Okay, all right. Leanne is reading The Unbelieved by Vicky Petratus, who came to our lunch, didn't she?
Yes, yeah, dinner
Loved
in
it.
Melbourne.
Dinner.
She was at the dinner in Melbourne. Yeah, great. Interesting because she's got the true crime background, hasn't
That's
she?
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What else have we got
So,
there? Oh,
um,
I love Kylie Ladd.
oh, it's such a good read. It's
Yeah.
such a good read. It's about
She's a
3.
GP.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, or actually a psychiatrist, I think.
Oh,
She's
okay.
got a PhD in neuroscience or something to do with the brain.
Okay, I got that wrong. Yeah.
And it's about 3 sisters who have lost their brother, and they end up searching for the organ donors. And so Kylie has some experience with this because her family, she lost her brother many years ago, and later on received a letter from an organ donor about how much getting his kidney changed his life or her life, whoever it was. I think they didn't know who it was, but so she used that as the inspiration for this. It was a one-sitting read for me. I could not, and I was really reluctant to read it because of the subject matter. Great. It's a great read. Loved it.
Yeah, she's a really good writer as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we've asked a question. This is what are you reading? Tell us what you're reading, but also to tell us, we're going to ask the question tonight, how many books do you read in a week? Now, as I said, this is not a competition. It's just for us to gauge, and I'm just curious. But how many books do you read from start to finish? Okay, so we've got some answers. Veronica says about 2, maybe 3 a week. Jane says she reads on average 2 to 3. Sally says a couple, maybe 3, which seems to be the number.
Yeah.
Tracy, I read a couple a week, usually 1 ebook and 1 physical book. That's interesting, isn't it? Alona usually reads 2 books a week. Linda, I read 2 or 3 books a week, usually 1 is an audio book. Annette is reading 48 by James Herbert, and the other book I've just finished was Love, Ghosts and Nose Hair by Stephen Herrick. I read on average 2 books a week.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the number, isn't it? Janine finished Shelter from the Storm by Penelope Janu, and she reads 2 to 3 books a week. Oh, Anne. Anne is in windy Wellington. Anne is my neighbour back home in Petersham. I'm in San Francisco. Hi, Anne. I just love Anne. And we often run into each other in the park, but it's cool too because she does laps. Okay, Joe says, hi, ladies. I'm reading The One and Only Dolly Jamieson by Lisa Island and loving it.
Loving that. Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa never disappoints. And also The Girl Who Fell from the Sky by Emma Carey.
Yeah, right.
Carolyn says, I read between 1 and 2 books a week, but in January I read 10 books. Some were audio, not normal for me, but it was the holidays.
Like the audio, because I juggle. Like I read a couple of books at a time, got my paperbacks, plus I'm in the car listening to, a range of audio books, juggling them all at once. Yeah. And I like audio now. I was always a little bit funny about it, but I like it. Yeah.
I feel that sometimes audio distracts me if I start reading it in print first and then go to audio, because that wasn't the voice that I had in my head.
Yeah.
So I have to go straight audio.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do nonfiction for audio. I don't, I've got to have my novels.
Yeah. And, let's mention Belinda Audio, whom we love, and they're the sponsors.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
And they do such a great job.
A good Australian company. Yeah.
Yes, an Australian company in Melbourne. Julie said this week I'm reading Denzine by James Mackenzie Watson and listening to The Hair with the Amber Eyes by Edmund DeWaal. There you go. Lots of combinations of reading hardcover and audiobooks. Thank you for sharing those with us. I'm really enjoying reading that. It's interesting. Cindy, I read all the books, no audiobooks. She doesn't. I read probably 3 to 4 books a week on average, but I can read in the car. So I have had lots of trips interstate slates.
Oh, you're driving.
So you're not driving, Cindy, which is great. Great to know. So obviously you've got a partner in the car driving. Yeah.
So Hellbent, here's one that might take a little longer to read. It's the sequel to The Ninth House, which was a New York Times bestseller. Look, I love this cover because it's actually like a fantasy blend, and it's sort of it's really modern and different, I think, for a fantasy series. It blends in supernatural fantasy with themes of racism, privilege, and misogyny. So, yeah, quite a read. And, people love it. And the Garnett Girls, and Dex is going to put up the cover because this is a proof there.
Oh,
Look
right.
at that. Isn't that a beautiful cover? It just makes you want to hang
Hey,
out there.
can I talk about proofs and covers for those that don't know?
Yes, so I'll hold that up so you can see the difference.
Okay, so the book industry goes like this. When a book is scheduled, when an author writes a book, the book is scheduled. So let's say you deliver your manuscript in February, it's scheduled to come out in September, let's say. Now, part of that process is to get the readership going and to get people like you to start reading and to start telling their friends, to start sharing it on social media, blah, blah, blah. So very often, not always, but very often, they will do what's called a proof, right?
Yeah.
Or a docutech, it used to be called in the old days. And it is a book that goes to media and goes to readers and to booksellers, and just to get an idea of what that book is. It's usually an uncorrected proof, so you'll find that there might be typos, or it's very close to the finish, but probably hasn't had its last edit. I mean, I like reading proofs because it's kind of, you're reading the stories in the raw, if you like.
Yeah.
And we have a program called Preview, and you can be one of those readers. All you have to do is subscribe to our weekly newsletter, and we have 2 or 3 previews a week where you can put your name down. It's all random. It's done by a random computer. I mean, we get 300 or 400 applications for each book, and we might have 50 books, we might have 25, we might have 100. And the people selected are randomly selected. And you get 2 chances to deliver. If you don't deliver, you're off the list.
But if you have to do that though, because everyone takes it so seriously and they deliver.
I don't think anyone's ever been knocked off. I really don't. Everybody takes it. So they respect the fact. Well, they're very happy to get it usually because you love reading, and it's such a special experience. But anyway, so that's the proof. That's the
And in fact, we had this one in that's a last week. That was one of the previews. So I mean, a great range of books to choose from.
So if you want to be a reviewer, just sign up for Preview. You'll get it eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people on here today who've had our preview.
Oh, I had so many familiar names. And also Deck will put the link for Preview in there. But really, all you have to do is go to our website, sign up for the newsletter, as I know most of you probably have, and then there it is. Okay, all right. Can I keep going? Because there's so many.
So just quickly, the Garnett Girls. I didn't get to read this one. It was reviewed by someone else in the office, but and this doesn't happen a lot because we have so many books here and I'm always reading something, but I have taken a copy of this home because at some stage I do want to read it as well. And it's 3 very different sisters grapple with life, responsibilities, and their past. From their parents' kind of tumultuous love affair and marriage. So it just looks great, actually. And I think the author, it's a debut, but she's worked in publishing for many, many years as a publicist in the UK. And, she just knew what to deliver, I think, for a really great read.
Well, and a lot of aspiring writers work in publishing until they write. I might know a person that's doing that. Sharon, I normally read between 2 or 3 books a week, depending on how busy work and life is. Jenny just finished my preview. There we go. Segue. Becoming Mrs. Mulvey and loving it. Jessie, hi everyone. I've just started reading The One and Only by Dolly Jamieson. Linda, hi Linda.
Loving that.
Linda's has done a few previews, I know. Just finished reading All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham, an audio book, and it was fabulous. Linda, how many books a week do you read? Oh, you told me, I think. 2 to 3. Alita says, hi, Jan and Cheryl. I am reading The Thursday Murder Club. Very funny. Veronica loves Shelter from the Storm. Kim, I'm reading Dirt Town by Hayley Skivner and loving it. Jill, thanks, Better Reading Preview. I have read Penelope Janu's latest book and loved it. There you go. Segue.
Yeah.
Julie says, Jan and Cheryl, just wondering if there is a hold up with my new 2 previews copy that was assigned for me. I'm running out of time to read and review. Don't worry. Sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes there is a delay, Julie, and everybody else who gets it with the author and really with Australia Post, with a delivery system.
Sometimes it's just coming out of a warehouse. They're all sent out of a warehouse. Yeah.
So don't worry. It will come. If you want to email us at Cheryl at betterreading.com.au, we'll follow it up. But it will come, and don't worry, we won't penalize you because we know that happens. Sharon, over the holidays, I read Bedtime Story by Chloe Hooper. Do you know, Sharon, isn't that funny? I was thinking about that book the other day. That really had a huge impact on me. I read that when my mother was dying in her last week, and I was at her bedside, along with my sisters and my family. But it was something, I took the morning shift at the time, and I took Chloe Hooper and Helen Garner, I think. But anyway, it's been a moment in my life, but also I really enjoyed it. I think she writes beautifully. Sharon's just saying, I should have finished reading. And that was thanks to you, Cheryl, after you recommended it. It was loved it. Oh, Sharon, I'm so glad you loved it. Such a very special story. And here I was repeating it. Sorry, Sharon. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It really is one of those books that is imprinted in me,
Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon, for letting me know too. Lindsay is reading The Fourth Right Woman by Dari Fraser, loving it, but really love Jackie French's book coming in.
Dari's got another one coming out very soon. Well, she always does.
Lindsay's got a preview copy of the Jackie French. I recorded while I was here, I recorded a podcast with Jackie, and I just loved her. And I've chatted with her 2 or 3 times now. But every time I chat with people, I find out something else.
Yeah.
Okay, have you got anything else, or am I? Oh, okay. Well, let me finish because we've got a few here. Katie's reading Alison Stewart's The Homecoming. Tracy just bought I'll Leave It With You. Marianne, get a book out. That's what we do if there's an author. Looking forward to reading Penelope Janu and Dari Fraser's newbies. Love their books. We love you, Marianne. We'll find that book that's behind Jane. Faye, hello, I'm reading Dead Tide by Fiona McIntosh. We can just put it up on the screen if Dex can find it. Someone's stolen it. That happens in the office.
I think we've just read it and passed it around the office just recently.
Jessie reads a week, 1 paperback and an audio book. Oh, Yvonne reads 5 a week. Wow, Yvonne, go you.
Give her a job.
Pardon?
Give her a job.
Yeah, maybe you should come and work for us, Yvonne. Faye, depends on size, but usually 2 print ebooks and 1 audio. Wow. Stacey reads 2 and 3 in a week. Rika reads about a week. Is it richer? About a week, and usually 1 is audio. Anne reads about 2 books a week. Linda, Kate Jackson, I've just ordered myself a copy of this one. Kylie, who I think was a winner of the top 100 last year. Yeah. I'm reading It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover and loving it. Isn't the whole planet's loving it? Veronica says, I'm excited for the Garnet Girls. I have an ARC. Yes, that's another term for ARC is advanced reading copy. Kylie, I saw this at my local book W the other day, which is great. And Melissa said, I haven't had one for ages and ended up getting a preview book last week. Oh, yay.
Good.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Okay. All right, then. Now, is that it for us? Is there anything else we need to tell everybody at home?
No, just go on to the site.
I'm going to Mexico next week. They need to know that's important. Yeah. So I won't be with you next week, but I will tune in when I can. And you can watch it later. Sign up for a preview. That's just really signing up for the new.
Yeah.
Listen to Caroline and I doing book chat.
And give it a nice review or something.
Yeah, and give it a nice review. We'd love that. What else?
I think that's it for the
I think
week.
that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing how many books a week you read. Thanks
I
for
think that's great. I'm going to go through and read that and have a really good look. So keep sharing and keep writing in the comments how many books you read, because I find that fascinating. It's, we talk about that, don't we? We sort of,
yeah.
yeah.
This, I've said this a million times. I love this segment. I love all of our readers. Really, I mean, it's you guys who make up better reading. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for participating. Not just today. I see the comments all through the week.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us today.
Keep reading.
Yeah. Take care. See you next time.
See you